Hey Kevin, this is Lori with Soul Sisters Digital Design. Mike Mickler had sent over an introduction, and I wanted to go ahead, before I gave you a call, I wanted to shoot this video to give you an idea of how your business is stacking up against your competition online, and also to give you some tips that you can take to improve things. So, as Google crawls the web, it is really looking at three things: content, citations, and backlinks. So those are the things I'm going to talk about today. So what's content? Content just refers to the words and images on your site. Google really likes to see between 1,500 and 2,000 words, kind of at a minimum, on the page, because that allows it to get a really good idea of what you do and where you are. The exact amount is going to somewhat depend on the competition, but also the number of keywords needed to get those points across. So a keyword is anything someone might type into Google or another search engine looking for a particular service or product. So let's look at what a Google search might look like. I went ahead and typed in RV Park. If I can get up here, RV Park. And what it's going to do is it's going to bring up those things closest to me. Because you're a little bit north of Fernandina Beach, which is where I am, I went ahead and moved the map up just a little bit so that I could see more appropriate referrals for more appropriate competitors to you. And what came up first is these three right here. So at the top of this page is what we call the map pack. The top three listed here are going to get the most traffic. Because these maps are super easy to use. There's a lot of information in there for consumers. There's reviews, there's score for reviews, there's location. Sometimes it's the number of years in business. But there's a ton of information, so they get a lot of the search results. People click on those a lot. The way to get into this top three is, one, you want to have a Google business profile, which you do. You want to make sure it's filled out as completely and accurately as possible. And the last thing is you want to have your name, address, and phone number listed in as many relevant directories on the web as possible. So things like Yelp and Yellow Pages. The more times you have that happen, the more power it gives your profile. Because every place you do that is considered a citation. The idea really is that your brand begins to be found by Google all over the internet. The larger that online presence is, the more Google trusts you. Now, below that is what we call the organic results, and that just means not paid. Ideally, you want to be in the top three of this as well. Now, when I'm going through and looking at this, I don't count directories as top search results. So we've got like an RV Life campground review. That's a directory, as is this Good Sam, campground views, Camp Florida, Outdoorsy, Florida State Parks, Rover Pass. All of those are directories. So the first actual result that I see is for Island Oaks RV Resort. The second one being Stagecoach RV Resort. So I picked them to compare you against. Additionally, because I see that this Walkabout Camp and RV Park is kind of right next door to you, I picked them as well so we could take a look at what they're doing. Now, if you are in the top three of both the map pack and the organic results, you're going to be one of the ones that gets about 85% of the volume that when people are searching. But let's go back to content for a second. So I've got your website pulled up here. And I can tell you I like the actual pictures that you've got. I always love seeing actual pictures versus stock photos. Love your quote, by the way. And like that you're listing some amenities and you're listing how to make a reservation. You got a call to action here. And you've got some different things in the vicinity to check out. So all of that's really great. But there's not a ton of content on here. In fact, when I put it into a word counter, I came up with about 532 words. And so that leaves a lot of room for growth to be able to get more keywords in. Now, I will say Island Oaks doesn't have much more. In fact, I think they've got a little bit less than you do. But Walkabout has a good bit more than you do. So those are just things to consider. Now, when I am looking at a website, the other thing that I do is I want to check it out from the back end. I want to see what the analytics are. So when I plugged in your website to this tool that I use called RFs, I can see that you're getting about 30 visitors per month, and that's coming from about 12 keywords. Now, if I drill down and look at what those keywords are, I can tell that these top ones, which is the ones that are giving you the traffic, all relate to your name. So people know who you are and they're searching for you or searching about you. And that's what's contributing to your traffic. But the thing is, you want to be found for what you do, like the service that you provide, such as RV camping near Cumberland Island. Now, that particular search has 20 searches per month. You are in position 90. So because you're so far down in the results pack, it's not getting you any traffic. So let's contrast that with one of the competitors. So if we look at Island Oaks RV, they're actually getting about 2,300 visits per month, and that's being driven from about 1,900 keywords. Now, some of these are in the same boat as you, where it's all about Island Oaks. But let's look at this. New RV resorts in Florida. I realize they're in Georgia with you, or they come up, but that is being searched 300 times per month. They're in the number 2 spot, so that's getting them 48 hits. And if you look at, say, new RV parks near me, that's 100 search volume. They're in the top spot, and that's going to get 16 visits for that. And if we look at Walkabout, so we know Walkabout is right near you. Let's look at what theirs are. Oops. So they're getting about 175 visits per month, and that's driven from 75 keywords, some of which has to do with their name. But if we look at Kingsland, Georgia RV Parks, for example, that is being searched 150 times per month. Now, they're not factoring into that search yet either. They're number 41, and really it's only the top 10 that are going to get results. So it's not getting them traffic, but you can see that it's going to make a lot of sense to target the kind of searches that people are doing for the service that you provide. Now, the last piece of the ranking puzzle is what we call backlinks. So all a backlink is a clickable link from one website back to another via that hyperlink text. So these links act like an endorsement of your business from other businesses, because Google sees those other businesses as vouching for you. It is not just a popularity contest, though, where the person with the most wins, because not all links are created equal. Those that are local are going to count more. Those that are relevant to your industry, to your website, will also count more. And ideally, of course, you want them to be powerful in their own right. So because you can't compare just strictly backlink to backlink, it's, like I said, they're weighted. How I look at that is, instead of focusing on the number of backlinks coming in, I'm going to look at this score over here. So this DR tells me that for your overall domain, you're scoring about a 3 on a scale of 0 to 100 for your backlink profile. For the specific page, so the home page, you're scoring about a 6. And if we look at Island Oaks, they are actually scoring about a 6 for their overall domain and a 13 for their for the specific homepage. And if we look at Walkabout, we're at 6 and 13. So both Island RV Resort and Walkabout are kind of tied in that respect. Now, when all of these things come together, the content, the backlinks, the citations, that's when you start ranking higher and higher in these search results. And that's when more and more customers find you. So I wanted to get this out to you. Like I said, I like these. I like to send these because I want them to be helpful, and I want you to be able to have things that you could work on yourself if you'd like. But if I'm going to give you a call and maybe get some feedback on the video. But if you want some additional information, we can always talk about your goals for the Hucks RV Park. And I can do some research to figure out what might be realistic for your business and what it might take to reach those goals. Again, hope this was helpful. My name is Lori with Soul Sisters Digital Design. My number is 352-235-9803. Talk to you soon.